Harry, this is a large potato. I almost forgot my intro because I'm actually gonna record later for my second channel on some story times. Yeah. If you wanna go check out my second channel about story times about I don't know some bull crap that happened to me during middle school, high school, and maybe some things in elementary if I can remember any of them. But yeah, other than that, let me begin. Wait, no, wait. Go check out or go subscribe to Anime Sensei, Iconic What Ifs, and even Obito What Ifs. But other than that, I'm not gonna do a recap because I'm too lazy as fuck. Um, and yeah, let's begin in part 3 of What If Naruto freed an ancient being. Yep. Now, let's begin. No intro because I actually have not made an intro, and don't even feel like making an intro. So yeah. I had an idea for it, but never mind. Whatever. So, let's begin. So, we go into when Naruto met Skelly and had I don't even remember. But the two children of, well, Finro. Basically, the one with the sun crest and one with the moon crest. Now, if you know the story between these two, they are actually two of Finrod children that will actually start Ragnarok. I'll mention how they will actually kind of be in this kind of world ending. What if? But yeah. If you do know the story, good job on you guys. Anyone else? I'm not gonna explain. But let's begin. So we go into Naruto after bringing what's called the true children of Finro. Of course, this is where Scully is the one with the white fur, but actually has a moon crest, and while the other one has a sun crest, but of course it's black. It's a black fur wolf. Of course, his eyes are red, while Scully has blue eyes. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, you can just correct me in the goddamn comments. I don't really care. But yeah. And please tell me how to fucking pronounce it. I'm not gonna whatever. I'll probably search up on Google later, but yeah. Or like use Google Translate because I'm a retard fuck. But yeah. Let me keep continuing. After Naruto kind of bringing them back to the village, they're actually Naruto spoke to the village and even Shinkai about they are actually guardian animals or guardian animal families, like guardian angels, something like that. He made some kind of stuff, which is kind of true. He is family to them, but he said that they are here to protect us and help us in war and other things. Of course, Shinkai believes it because he believes anything that Naruto kind of says. Everyone believes it, so yeah. Of course, both Scully and not Scully. Give me a shit fucking. So Skull and Hattie kind of just stayed around the village. Now, of course, there are still multiple buildings and more technology being built on Darkness Country. Yes, this is the country that Naruto picked because it kind of made sense a little for him. I don't know. Because he is going to plunge the world into darkness, which bringing a war called Ragnarok, and that is his origination name, Ragnarok. So of course this is where Naruto, he is kind of like still talking to Shinkai that he will bring more ninjas and more important people to help him in his cause. So we go into Naruto going to find people that he needs help from, or not help him for him to pay them, and also help them in the organization. Naruto found two people that had two seven swordsmen. Two of the seven swords. One was a person that was balls, and of course had the spear one, the spear the spear sword. I forgot what was his actual name, but yeah, he has a spear sword. while the other one has the explosion sword. Now, of course, Naruto didn't met them together. He met them separately. Of course, the Spear one tries to attack Naruto because Naruto kind of came across him. And Naruto, he defeated him so easily, throwing a giant fire attack from his mouth. Of course, the Spear guy, the ball guy, his name is Kazeno, and he did shoot a giant water attack. But of course, his water attack was weaker than the fire attack. So of course, the fire attack hit him, and of course, he lost. Of course, kind of losing, he thought he was gonna die in a glorious battle. Naruto healed him and says that since you lost, you are now going to work for me. Of course, Kazeno nodded and said sure. Of course, Naruto met the other explosion dude. Well, this guy has what's it called? Well, a long beard. Well, not long beard. He has a black beard, a black mustache. His teeth are very sharpened, like some of the what's it called, Miss Ninjas. Of course, he's also a missing rogue ninja from the Mist, and he has the explosion sword. I forgot what was his name, but yeah. Of course, this is where the explosion. He tries to attack what's it called, Naruto, and his name is Omen. Yeah, I'm gonna call him Omen, or yeah, wait, yeah, Omen. Of course, Omen tries to attack Naruto multiple times with the explosion sword, trying to explode Naruto, until Naruto managed to grab the explosion sword away from him and kicked him pretty easily into a tree. Naruto says, "Since you lost, plead allegiance to me." Of course, Omen and Kazeno did play allegiance for Naruto. Now, Naruto is getting more people. Either they're rogues or they're kind of just random mercenaries that he got. Naruto's getting enough people to go into his organization. He already has Darkness Country under his thumb, and he has now these others. Now, having two, well, not two of like the actual missing man for like the Seven Swordsmen, the original, but he has two that wields two of the blades. Now, Naruto never fought against Zabuza, so he never met Zabuza or Haku. But yeah. Of course, there were some rumors when he got to Wave Country about a sword that kind of looked like the Executioner. This is where Naruto got multiple information. Yes, Kakashi's team did take this team, and yes, his team is right now on the training exams. Naruto, he hears about it, and he goes to get the Executioner blade. To give it to, well, Shinkai, since Shinkai doesn't actually use any weapon. But of course, he wanted to see how big the Executioner is. So, of course, he goes to look at it in the Land of Waves with Kazeno and Omen. Of course, when they get there, they see multiple missing, not missing ninjas, not miss ninjas, mostly miss ambus, like, what's it called, not ambus, the tracking ninjas. They find what's it called, the berry site. And of course, this is where, well, sorry. This is where they're gonna try to take the Executioner blade back to the Mist Village. But of course, none of them are actually strong enough to actually carry it, so they're gonna have to bring some ninjas towards this place. This is where Naruto says, "Hey, move out of the way." This is where Miss Tracking Ninja says, "You are not allowed to be." This is where Naruto grab him from the neck and crack it in an instant. This is where multiple missing ninjas try to throw senbons at Naruto, and all of them just gets deflected with an explosion. This is where all of them widen their eyes and sees one formal ninja from the Mist, who is named Omen, and the other one is someone that just kind of got trained by a missing ninja that has the spear. Well, not the spear, it's mostly a needle. Now, of course, this is where, well, the missing ninja says, "At least it's our lucky day to find some of the missing ninjas that we need. And since you got in our way, orange hair bastard, you are going to die." This is where Naruto already appeared right in front of him, and Naruto shoved his hand through his heart and just ripped it out. Naruto says, "You will not be doing any of that." Naruto crushes it. Now, of course, this is where Omen and even what's it called, Kazeno, already killed the missing ninjas and only like took them 5 minutes. Naruto was so fast to easily cut them out, without even using the executioner blade or any blade at all. He used his arms. He kind of just put his arm flat, and he just pierces through multiple legs and arms, cutting them off so easily. Even Koran chopping them, so yeah. Of course, this is where Naruto, he did put wind chakra, so that's why he was easily able to cut them through. Even without the wind chakra, he can easily just like, kind of, not even put wind chakra. He could have easily kind of just cut them, not cut it off, kind of tore it off, with just brutal strength. So yeah. Of course, with that happening, Naruto, he says, so this is the executioner blade. Zabuza, Momochi, and Haku, has lived here, blah blah blah, well not lived here, has rested here. This is where Naruto says, interesting. So this is one of the seven swords blades. Isn't it Omen and Kazuo? Kazuo says, yes, it is. Omen says, yeah. Naruto picked it up with one hand, and they thought that Naruto would have to use two hands because even with their weapons, Kazuo can easily lift up his weapon because it's only a needle, while Kazuo usually has to use two hands. But of course, this is where Naruto lifted up with one hand, and is easily swinging around like it's nothing. This is where Naruto says, an executioner blade. For an executioner that I might need. Shinkai. If I give this to Shinkai will not be able to hold it. I need another blade for Shinkai to have. Whatever. I'll take it just in case I find anyone worthy to hold this blade. So Naruto takes it and of course walks away. Of course, Omen and Kaze kind of goes with Naruto. Now, they go into, the grass village. Well, not grass village. They go into, the mist village. Not really the mist village, but to the nearest islands, This is where Naruto, he gets on one of the islands because, they didn't really fly there. They mostly got on the water. And Naruto, he used most of his magic to kind of make somewhat a boat. He kind of crafted with his sorcery magic. Of course, this is where, when he did that, they got on and got to the next island. They didn't go to the mist village entirely. But of course, they got into an island. Now, of course, there was multiple rumors about a monster living around here and kind of destroying ships if they go to this island. This is where Naruto and Kazuo and even Omen kind of they weren't really worried. They're mostly just curious what Naruto was. So of course, this is where they go to the island. Now Naruto's looking around. Of course, both Kazuo and Omen did kind of try to get more information because Naruto did ask for it. And of course, Naruto, he looks around, just walking around. Now, I did mention that Naruto's 5'7". He's pretty tall. Now, of course, Naruto's looking around, and of course, can't really find anyone. Or did I say he was 5'7"? No, I think I said he was 5'5". That's great, he's 5'5". This is where Naruto, he just keeps looking around until he sees a girl kind of getting thrown rocks at by some kids. And of course, he can see multiple bandages on her, even in her face. Having one bandage across, not her eye, but over her eye and kind of the other eye. Just kind of weird for him. Of course, he kind of just sent a fireball at the kids, blasting rocks, and multiple rocks hit them anyway. This is where the kids turn around to see what the hell was that, or who did that. And Naruto, he made his teeth very sharpened and said, move. This is where all of them get scared and run away, saying, monster, monster, monster. This is where Naruto says, are you okay there? This is where this girl's name is Suribi, kind of just looks at Naruto and kind of just tries to walk away until Naruto grabbed her and takes off one of her bandages, just ripping it off. And Naruto sees the scales. This is where Suribi widened her eyes and kind of tried to take her arm away until Naruto just pulled her closer. You know, it's kind of rude of you to kind of ignore me. That's what Finro says. Very rude. Naruto says, calm down, Finro. But whatever. This girl would be perfect. If she is whatever they call the monster, she'd be a good person for the organization. Finro says, okay, can we really trust her? Maybe I can get the trust from her. You know how I am. You're right. Naruto says, calm down. This is where she tries to kind of squirm away from Naruto. But this is where Naruto just says, calm down. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to just ask a couple questions. And that is all. This is where she kind of calms down a little bit. Just a little bit. Of course, this is where Naruto then asks, are you the, perhaps, monster they call? This is where she tenses up a little bit. And Naruto then says, I see, so you are. Well, that doesn't matter. A kind of amazing girl like you shouldn't be called a monster. This is where she tenses up a little bit more with that. And this is where Naruto says, I'm just saying, maybe I can help you. Wouldn't you like that? To be, helped? You know, I'll help you get rid of anyone, crush anyone, and even kill anyone you hate. Wouldn't you like that? Izuribi kind of looks at Naruto, widened her eyes multiple times when Naruto said that. And Naruto says, wouldn't you want that? Don't you want to just kill everything that hates you? I don't hate you. I will help you instead. Naruto smiles with a bright smile. And of course, this is where, she then looks at Naruto and says, would you really? Izuribi kind of looks at Naruto and said that. That's where Naruto says, yes. Come on. Naruto kind of lifts his hand out for Izuribi to take it. So Izuribi she goes closer and actually takes Naruto's arm. Naruto pulls her in closer and Naruto says, good. Now come on. I need to find my teammates. Or not teammates. My subordinates. This is where Izuribi kind of follows Naruto. Now, of course, it's where, they get to a massacre site. A bunch of scientists and even two of, not Kabuto's teammates. The Kabuto teammates would still be in the training time. I'll mention later about Naruto's team being there. But these doctors and scientists were all dead after Kazen and Omen found it. It was a experiment to try to find Izuribi and keep attacking what's called innocent people. As are both Kazuno and even Omen kind of looks at Naruto, and Naruto says, she is someone that will be very helpful to us. So, don't pay much attention to her. That's where both of them nodded and didn't care that much, because they already had their own fun with these scientists killing them, massacring them, because these scientists really wanted to try to experiment on them. Which they thought they were just finding some random bandits, and it was easy enough to take them in, or civilians that just have some fake weapons. Really, Kazuno and Omen really killed all of them. There was multiple doctors kind of hanging up from, the trees, all bleeding from multiple holes around them, or tiny holes that had threads in them. Other kind of doctors, they were all into a pile of ash and kind of dirt. Yes, they were blown up to pieces by Omen. So of course all these doctors tried to attack Naruto, not Naruto, mostly Kazuno and Omen. But yeah, now this is where Naruto leaves this village. But of course, before leaving it, Naruto, he makes a very big, like a small fireball from his hand. Mostly on his finger. He just snapped his finger. This is where a fireball appears. This is where Naruto adds a little bit more magic. And increases the flames to become a blue, purple, black. Not black, white. And this is where Naruto, he makes the fireball become bigger from his finger. And just flicks it towards the island. The island explodes into a giant, massive explosion, and of course everything that was on that island was now gone. Every single thing. Now the water was going well, down on the giant hole of Explosion Island. The water's kind of just getting in because, yeah. Naruto just says, pathetic village. That's where Isuribi kind of felt relief. Something like some kind of like stress has just left her, what's it called, system. Has kind of just made her weight kind of be much lighter. Because she kind of hated that place. Not because, well, it's because of the villagers, but also the experiments. And now that she is going along with Naruto, she doesn't mind going along with Naruto. Naruto, he just smiles like evilly. Now, of course, is where, well, we go into another place that Naruto's going. Naruto is now going towards, well, another place. Now, this is where Naruto just keeps trying to find more people. This is where, well, they go towards a bar. And of course, in this bar, there was a dark-skinned man who was bald. Kind of bald. He kind of had a, well, white beard and a mustache, but of course, he was complete bald. Of course, he had eyebrows, and yeah. But he was right now drinking himself away. This is where, well, he also had a couple of men, about 3 men and 2 women in his team. But of course, they were kind of celebrating. While Naruto and his group was kind of near a table. Of course, both Kazuno, well, Kazuno is kind of just eating not properly. He's eating pretty fast. Even Omen is doing the same. Just ripping into meat and food that they kind of got and bought from this kind of place. It's like a bar and all that. And of course, this is where Isuribi is kind of just eating quietly, not making a mess like Kazuno, Kazuno and, Omen. But Naruto, he's eating very properly, with manners. The reason why Naruto's eating with manners is because Naruto doesn't see this barbarian way that much. The reason why he can is because of Loki's descendant blood and unlock some things. He's similar to Loki's. Well, personality a little bit, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Finro says kind of barbarian, don't you think? The girl is the only one that's trying to eat quietly and not make a mess. Naruto says there are only people, well, there are only what's called people that would be under me. So I mean, yeah, I don't mind it. Of course, this is where multiple cloud ambus appeared. Now, Naruto was in the, well, near the cloud village. Well, in the lightning nation, but yeah. Now, of course, this is where multiple ambus weren't targeting Naruto, but were targeting the, what's it called? The dark, the Dark Lightning Squad, or not Dark Lightning. They were targeting the Lightning Striker Squad gang mostly. Now, of course, this is where the tall man that had no hair but had a white beard, well, not white beard, kind of had a black beard and a black mustache, kind of stood up and turned around and said, "I see. So you ambus dared to interrupt my gang and, well, having some fun." This is where the 3 what's called men and his like gang, and of course the 3 girls get ready, or not 3 girls, 2 girls. This is where 2 of the girls, well, one was dark skinned and the other one was white, but of course the 3 other men were kind of like a lightish but darkish kind of color. They're like mixed a little bit, but yeah. Of course they all get ready to fight against these cloud ambus. Or cloud machine tracking ninjas, but yeah. Of course, this is where there was also ambus around, but yeah, in the what's called kind of group, there was a lot of them. This is where the man says, "You would just, let's see if you can take me out when I'm dead." Naruto had a, what's it called? Well, a keen eye on this man. he can sense that this man is strong, powerful, and it's another rogue ninja for him to bring along in his organization. Just where Naruto, he stood up as they're properly kind of cleaning his mouth from eating kind of the meat. He stood up, walks towards the Ambu, like in a slow fashion, just walking towards it. And this Ambu was actually the Ambu captain, and Naruto shoved his hand through his heart, ripping out his heart. This is where all Ambu's widen eyes, all the cloud Ambus, and missing track ninjas. Even the bald man widen his eyes. This is where both Kazano and Omen kind of got prepared by kind of drawing out their weapons. Even Isuribi kind of caught, on guard. Knowing that, they know that something similar would kind of happen. This actually been about kind of 2 days when they kind of walked around, meeting other ninjas, missing track ninjas, and Naruto will not even hire, brought towards his country. But he kind of brought these missing track ninjas towards his country in an organization by telling them that he will pay them pretty good if they will help him in his goal. So of course some of them he had to pay, and some of them he had to kind of put them down by showing them his strength, his power, making them be a good person. Well, not a good person entirely, but being under him by having them under his thumb. Now, of course, Naruto did meet a couple people, so yeah. So, of course, this is where all 3 of them, Kazano and Omen and even Ishiribi got on guard, knowing damn well Naruto was going to do something crazy. Now, of course, Ishiribi has become stronger as her magic ability was unlocked. It was also a very powerful water ability, but it was also strong in lightning. For some reason, she had a not water, but lightning affinity to not chakra, but to magic. Lightning affinity to magic, but water chakra. Now, of course, this is where, she got on guard. Now, she does have 2 Tontos on her, just because Naruto did kind of buy them. Well, not buy them for her, mostly forge them when they did get to Darkness Country kind of a day ago from, that island. Now, of course, this is where Naruto did just take out this man's heart and crushed it in his arm. Naruto, he wanted to make an expression for this kind of like lightning striker game to show that he's willingly to talk to them without them trying to run away from him. Now, of course, this is where the bald man, his name is in the book, his name is, for his code name to be the lightning, his name is the Thunderbolt, like the Thunderbolt. And of course, this is where his actual name is. This man was named Eneru, so yes. But of course, his name was called Lightning Man. So yeah. Of course, this is where he kind of smirked and says, "Oh, I see. I guess I'm getting helped by a good person." Naruto says, "You can't really say good person, but I want to actually talk to you after we get rid of all these ninjas. Don't you perhaps want to have a talk over some drinks?" This is where Neru kind of looks at the bartender and says, "Give me 2 bottles of whiskey and pour them in a glass. This won't take that long." Naruto smiles. Now, Naruto doesn't mind drinking whiskey. He doesn't really care. Well, Neru kind of says, "Give me 2 glasses of your finest whiskey." And this is where the bartender kind of got nervous, but at the same time got ready on the order. So yeah, this is where the Ambus and even what's called the kind of missing tracking ninjas kind of got ready also. And they say, "Do you really think 2 of you can be enough to stop us?" And Neru kind of turned his body into lightning. Kind of look like he's kind of making a lightning armor, but it's kind of the imperfect version because he was kind of trained by the Raikage. Before B, this man was actually trained by the Raikage. Kinda. He was kind of incomplete version. So of course he kind of had a incomplete version, but had actually kind of made his own version of lightning creation. So of course this is where, well, he also had a very high infinity of lightning. His lightning was not a yellowish color or bluish color. It was such a bright blue color that even people kind of got blinded by it. And Naruto looked at it one glance, and his eyes kind of did burn a little bit, but Naruto got just used to it pretty easily. But yeah, both Eneru and Naruto just speed blitzed the hell out of what they call these, well, weaklings to him. Naruto easily just kicked a few in the head, killing them in an instant. Naruto just stomped on them so easily, while Eneru kind of just blitzed through so many of them, kind of using his arms to just cut through them easily. This is where Kazuno and even what's it called Omen kind of started eating back again, while Itsurugi was about to stand up until Omen says, "You know, he got this on the bag. He's quite fast, you know. Itsurugi. It's better if you just sit back down and eat." This is where, well, the gang members that were with and Edo kind of just looks at the massacre. Now, of course, they knew about the call and Edo's power, but this person next to him just easily killing, these, what's called, pathetic, ambus. Naruto was using wind style around him, but also using fire to burn every single person alive. While even using hand signs, Naruto just breathed out a huge fireball from his mouth, and kind of shoot also many fire attacks from his mouth. This is where he also grabbed a couple from the head and kind of burned him by igniting his hand into fire. Of course, this is where all of the what's called ambus and missing track ninjas were already dead, either burnt alive or shred to pieces. This is where both Naruto and Eneru were right now kind of sitting next to each other and of course drinking their, whiskey. But this is, Naruto and Eneru were kind of talking. Eneru kind of says that it's very interesting to see someone keep up with my speed. Amazing, kid. But I'm quite interested in what you wanted to talk to me about. Naruto says, I have either two options for you. Either you join my organization and I will pay for any expenses or any money you want, like money or anything you go on missions and take any money or anything like missions I will give you and help my, village in any cause. Or I would dominate you in a battle and force you to go into my organization. This is where Eneru kind of just chuckles and laughs and says, "Oh, if I pick the second one, can I still have the first one?" Naruto says, "Oh, then let's see who is stronger, speed and lightning or brute power and fire." This is where, Neru says, "Then let's see who is stronger." This is where, Naruto and Eneru do go outside. Of course, they did finish the 2-bottle whiskey. Naruto takes his own and he drank it, while Eneru did it the same. And of course, they're right now outside. This is where the gang members of Eneru are right now just pure shocked. And of course, this is where, Kazuno and even Omen, they already know Naruto's overpowered as fuck. He doesn't even show his true power. They know that Naruto is way powerful than half the time that he plays around with his prey. So of course, Itsurugi is kind of scared, but she is still not that scared. But yeah. Of course, she did meet someone that she kind of liked in Darkness Country, and that is, Shinkai. Since Shinkai is someone else that has a very powerful use in water, both magic and chakra. Of course, Shinkai did take an interest to Itsurugi, but yeah. Even though he didn't give a crap about her kind of having skills. But yeah. Of course, where Naruto, he says, "So let's see who is stronger." What's it called? What is her name, by the way? So I can Stop calling you Lightning Man. And this is where Anaru says, oh, my name is Anaru. This is where Naruto says, then let's start, Anaru. This is where Anaru says, but first, let me know the person who I'll be working for if he dominates me in this battle. This is where, well, Naruto chuckles and says, oh, you can call me Loki, by the way. This is where, well, Naruto says, I see. So the god of lightning fights against the god of tricksters. I do know about Loki meaning the god of tricksters. Naruto laughs and says, well, that is quite the fact. Lexi was stronger. This is where Anaru kind of transforms into lightning. He makes his body into a lightning armor and rushes at Naruto with blinding speed. Naruto was still standing there, and of course, this is where Naruto walks, just kind of put his leg towards the right and kind of just slides to the right. This is where Anaru was rushing at him with blinding speed, and seeing that Naruto wasn't moving until he kind of went to the right in such speed, but it looks like he just went to the right slowly for a bunch of other people. Oops, sorry. For a bunch of other people. But of course, this is where, well, Anaru saw the speed, what's it called? Elixir, well, never mind. The speed, what's it called? Well, the speed and the show of power. The fact that, well, Anaru was going in blinding speed, lightning speed, Naruto can still react to it and just dodge it without even having any effect of, well, straining his body. This is where Naruto was kind of still looking at him. And of course, this is where Anaru, when he passes by Naruto, he stopped. And this is where Anaru turns back around. And this is where Anaru kind of bows down and says, oh, then I will serve you, Loki. This is where everyone was shocked. This is where Naruto, he knew that if he just showed the power or speed that he has, Anaru would kind of follow along with Naruto. This is where Naruto says, the fact that your speed is way faster than mine, the fact that I was closely towards you to hit you, but you moved out of the way with your own speed. But it looked like you moved very slow for everyone else, to show that I wasn't fast enough. And that's a true, a true leader that I would like to follow. Someone that's faster than me, someone that's stronger than me, and someone that doesn't give mercy to anyone that comes and tries to attack him. This is where Naruto, he kind of just looks at what's called Anaru and just says, then fine. Let's go then. That's where Anaru kind of tells his gang members, who are, well, named what's called unknown, because I'm not going to think of names to kind of name them. But yeah. Of course, I will mention them later, but not this time. So, of course, they follow along Naruto to go to Darkness Country. Of course, is where Naruto was told by, well, what's it called? Well, not told. He was still having a couple of days. And, of course, he gets to Darkness, well, Country in a portal. And, well, Naruto kind of, just smiled and told, what's it called, Shinkai, about his success of finding more people. Of course, there was about 30 people in Naruto's kind of organization. Now, of course, there was 30 people. Well, not 30 people. There was only about 10 main leaders and, 30 subordinates. But yeah, after that, Naruto says, gotta keep finding more people. He even told what's it called, his group, that they can do missions in finding either weaker, what's it called, more missing track than ninjas, or find anything that will kind of entertain them for a bit, or get even stronger by training. So of course, multiple people did what Naruto kind of said. So of course, Anaru kind of just says, so, are you perhaps the Well, the Kage of this village. Naruto says, no, not exactly. For right now, I will be the daimyo. A daimyo being powerful, strong, and excellent in his leadership. So who is the Kage of right now? Naruto says Shinkai will be the leader for right now. Until I get enough bearings and other things under control, I will become the leader, in about 3 years. After that, those other 3 years, I have enough special plan happening in 6 years in total. Interesting. How old are you by any chance, Loki? Naruto chuckles and says, oh, that's none of your concern. This is where, well, Neru says, okay. From my guess, I'm guessing you're at least 21, or even younger or older. This is where Naruto laughs and says, oh, you probably understand one day what my true age is. That's where Naruto says, fine. Now, of course, this is where Naruto disappears and goes to find more people. But, of course, we go into the tuning exams, and it's now about 5 days. Of course, Konoha did tell everyone about the 31 days, so of course, the people that went into darkness, are from darkness, decides to come back towards their land. Now, of course, this is where the Jonin instructor does tell, well, Shinkai about the news, the good news, and even some information that even the Genin, well, mostly the tuning squad, but because they are tuning level, but of course they got information about Konoha, a bunch of it, a bunch of like the, well, what's it called, the clans and other things. Some of the information has already been kind of told by Naruto, like the Uchiha, the Hyuga, and other things, and how their weakness is and how their strength are. But that's where Naruto has also told them about some things, and yeah. And of course, the Scanning Squad was not just there to compete in the, what's it called, tuning sound, but to learn any new information, either being in the surface information or being underneath the information. What I mean is, surface information would be like common information that either has some secrets behind those common informations, or underneath information meaning dark, well, not darker information, but more like secrecy information that are being passed by Anbus and higher ups. So of course, what the Genins found out is, well, not just that Konoha is right now making what they call to see who is the strongest in the tuning exam. Yes, that's a thing, yeah. But they found out about Danzo's ordination, the Ruambus. They found out about the invasion that is happening with what's called Archimaru, the Sound Village, and even the Cloud Village. Yes, the Cloud Village is joining in there. And, well, they found out that in the Cloud Village, what's it called, not Cloud Village, they found out the Rain Village had 2 teams, of course, 2 teams of, what's it called, Ninjas Ascent. One, one of these Rain, teams, which is a normal Rain Village ninja that was actually competing, while the other 3 were actually specialized to find to find Chinchurikis. Chinchuriki being the, Bijus, like the 1 tails, 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, 5 tails, and all them others. Now, of course, one of them did find out about that there is a couple Chinchurikis in, well, the tuning exams. Well, that being the 1 tails, the 4 tails, and, well, yeah, the 1 tails, the 4 tails, and even the, well, I'm gonna say that the 5 tails is actually, instead of putting it into Han, they didn't put it into Han. They put it into another kid that was actually younger. So of course the 5 tails is actually there. Of course they are actually competing, so 3 of them were competing, while 2 Chinchurikis were out of, well, the kind of fight. That would be the 8 tails and the 2 tails that are actually from the Cloud Village. So of course that's what the 3 Genin actually told Shinkai. Shinkai nodded and said, "It's good to know. I'll tell my brother about this. Well, Naruto Sama about this mostly." This is where Shinkai says, "You are all dismissed. Now, before I do dismiss you, tell me, did any of you make it to the final Chunin round?" This is where all three, well, mostly one of them kind of didn't raise his hand. And of course, Shinkai says, "You just have to train more. The other 2 of you. I will expect great, what's it called? Great wins for Darkness Country. Now, you 2 will have to be training as hard as you can." Now, of course, one actually has a very powerful earth, well, what's it called? Powerful earth chakra, but also powerful earth magic, but also has a secondary chakra nature that is being fire. Now, of course, the other one has a very powerful water chakra nature and a very powerful, not lightning, but wind chakra nature, but has a very kind of weak kind of magic nature, that being kind of fire, in his own infinity. Now, of course, this is where, well, the last one kind of just had one water chakra ability. Now, of course, he didn't have magic because it still was undecided for what his magic was going to be. Of course, it couldn't be what's it called. It was 2 different magic sources, but it was so confusing on what it was going to be. Either it's going to be one or dual magic abilities that this kid was going to have. Naruto could not find out what it was, because Naruto is still not as powerful and potent in magic finding out. Of course, this is where both the Genin kids kind of nodded, while the other one nodded also as well. This is where Shinkai says, "Joining instructor, I will expect you to kind of train all 3 of your Genins, not just favor one of them or 2 of them, just because they made it to the Chunin exams. Is that understood?" The instructor said, "Hi," or not hi. He says, "Yes, sir." And of course, all of them got dismissed. This is where Shinkai says, "Good. I wonder if my brother will be here anytime soon. Or Naruto. I should really stop calling him brother." But he doesn't really mind that. Shinkai kind of talked to himself a little bit. This is where Isaribi does go into the office of Shinkai. And of course, she's here with Kazuno and even what's it called, Omen, because they didn't go along with Naruto, because Naruto was going to do something else. Something that Finro told him to kind of find a little bit of information about. Now, of course, this is where Shinkai was saying, "You can come in," or not come in. "Oh, hey there, Isaribi." This is where Isaribi says, "Hey there, Shinkai. Would you help me with my water ability?" This is where, well, Shinkai says, "I have nothing else better to do instead of doing this paperwork," which I kind of hate. Actually, straight up just hate. But other than that, sure, I'll help you. That's where Isaribi kind of smiles in happiness. But yeah, of course that happens. Of course, we go into Naruto. Naruto's going towards a cave. Now, this cave is stranger than what's called normal, because this cave goes down, but of course Naruto had to use some of his magic to kind of make a what's called hole down to the bottom by punching it so hard. This is where Naruto managed to make a hole that was kind of a, well, down the cave there was a dead end. Naruto punched it because he felt something pulling towards him to go. This is where when Naruto gets there, he sees a giant, and I mean huge door. Not actually a huge door, but a huge seal. Well, not like very big, but there were like seals all around. This is where Naruto then kind of bites his finger, throws blood into the seal, and of course it glows. This is where it stops glowing, and Naruto decides to just punch it. Naruto punches it, and it kind of breaks, but makes a small hole for him. This is where Naruto kind of jumps into it. Naruto, he opened his eyes because it was all white until he opened his eyes, until he sees a world that has trees, like very green trees, the sky, and of course everything was like very bright in this room. or this place, wherever he was exactly, until he heard a loud roar coming from the distance, until something landed well in front of him. A giant red dragon landed right in front of him. Naruto says, interesting. The dragon says, who are you and what are you doing here? Finro says, I see. So I guess the dragons were sealed away from by the gods. This is not the dragon leader, so we should ignore him, by the way. This is where Naruto nodded, and this is where Naruto, he disappeared from the dragon's sight. And this is where Naruto appeared away from the dragon. This is where Naruto says, so Finro, where would I go? This is where the Nine Tails was shocked to see a dragon. A legendary creature that was only told by legends by the Sage's Sixth Path. This is where Naruto kind of goes with the same direction that Finro kind of told him to go. Now, of course, this is where, Finro is kind of leading him to where he can sense the Dragon Leader's power. Now, Finro has met the Dragon Leader's power, or met him before at some one time. But this is where when Finro and Naruto gets there, this is where they see a giant palace. Now, of course, around this palace were giant marble and kind of like marble, stone, and other materials, pillars, all around. This is where Naruto was going up some giant steps, just jumping on it. Well, he kind of jumped fully on top of them giant steps. Kind of went down towards not down to the floor, kind of across from him. And when he gets to a specific area, this is where he hears a loud roar. This is where Naruto, he kind of looks up and sees this giant black and white dragon. Or not black and white dragon. A black and white dragon. Like has stripes of like white and a little bit. And of course, its wings were dark. Just dark. Like very dark. Now, like pitch black mostly. Now, of course, this is where it had a long tail. Of course, it had razor sharp like a back. Like scales being very sharp. And of course, this is where it had horns. Well, the horns was, two crimson red horns. Just one was actually cut off. And of course, this dragon had like an eye, and his other eye was kind of like, how should I say, it had a scar. But it also kind of looked like it was brown. While the other one had black scales around the eye and on his eyelashes. Or not eyelashes, just eyes. And yeah, okay. Of course, this is where the dragon opened his eyes, showing a very slikted eye, kind of being a dark blue. When he opens his other one, it was a palish white. It kind of looked like a Byakugan. That's just because something happened to his other eye. This is where Naruto kind of looks at it, and this is where the dragon kind of looks at him and says, Loki. This is where, Naruto says, sorry, I am not Loki. I'm only a descendant of Loki, if that's what you're wondering. This is where the dragon kind of chuckles, saying, I see. So I see. So you're only a descendant of Loki, but he looks just like him. Probably a little bit shorter than Loki himself. But why are you here, descendant Loki? This is where Naruto says, I am only here because I was kind of told by, I guess, an old friend, you would say. This is where Finro appears from a portal and becomes bigger, almost the same height as with the dragon. The dragon was at least bigger than the Nine Tails himself, and bigger than the Jubi mostly. And of course, this is where both Finro and the dragon were just staring each other down. This is where the dragon says, Finro. This is where Finro says, Finro says, why hello there, Hakai, the destroyer dragon. Or should I say, the destruction dragon of destroying. This is well not Hawkeye. I'm gonna name it yeah, his name was Hawkeye, the Destroyer Dragon. This is where Hawkeye looks at what's it called? Hawkeye looks at Finral and laughs and says, "Well, you still remember my name." This is where Finral says, "May I ask why you only have one eye? What happened to your other eye?" Hawkeye just growls and says, "Well, if you want to know, those damn fucking despiteful gods. Loki's brother Thor shot a lightning attack through my eye, burning it and destroying it when I was trying to attack it. Since your last, you were sealed, and I was also sealed with my other kind. Those bastards tried to betray us. I tried to fight back, but I couldn't." This is where Finral says, "I see." This is where Hawkeye said, "What happened to you, Finral? You seem a little bit more pissed than normal when I mentioned gods." "Oh, well, they betrayed me as well. They said if I broke through every unbreakable chain they couldn't even break, I will get the glory to show that I'm strong and to show that my father, what's called name, is strong for giving me birth into this world. But they betrayed me in a chain that was unbreakable, even tougher than half the other gods was put on me. And luckily, over the years, it was loosened enough. Or it was just weakened in one side, but whatever bullshit. Loki's descendant came and helped me. And now, we want your help, Hawkeye." Hawkeye looks at, Finral and says, Hawkeye says, "So, what kind of help do you want?" This is where Naruto says, "To bring a war into the human nations. Since I can't sense the power of gods, not yet, I'm not old enough to sense them. But I want you to help me, bringing this world into Ragnarok, nothing but pure chaos, to see if the gods might come back. If we can get to a place where gods are at, we will bring Ragnarok with us to crush them." This is where, Hawkeye says, "I see. Well, there's not really a way for us dragons to go out into the human world exactly. You see here, something called chakra is kind of blocking us out. Even though the seal that you managed to probably break in through, that we also managed to break through, kind of wasn't there before. We were sealed by God of magic, no shit. We did break through it, but of course some being named the Sage of Sixth Path or whatever sealed us back into this place. And it's been over so many years. Now, we can't make ourselves break out. We needed something called chakra, which I'm guessing you have, descending kid." Naruto nodded. This is where the dragon says, "But there is a way. I have heard of something called summoning creatures." This is where Fenrir says, "Yes, I have heard of that also. But there's actually a way. Naruto here can make a portal for you to come out. But we're waiting 6 years until his magic actually reaches the point of being actually god level. So, this is where the dragon says, fine. I can see that you have to shrink down Fenrir to actually get into that portal that he makes. And since I can't fit, but some of my some of my children and maybe other dragons can fit through, I can't yet, and I can't go outside. So, we will make a deal, kid. You call upon any dragon you need in battle, and when you become 6 years old, not 6 years old, you become of age of getting the gain of power of a god, and be able to make bigger portals. We'll bring this world to its knees and bring any god that stand between us towards our knees and kill them in an instant. How about it, kid? Naruto nodded. And of course the dragon says, then it has decided. We will now make an alliance. Again, Finro. Finro nodded. Of course, this is where Naruto nodded, and this is where Naruto is now kind of be able to kind of get out of, well, this dimension by making a portal and going through his own dimension. But this is we go into, well, a 2-week time skip. Naruto has been training, and he just became trying to increase his magic and power. Knowing damn well that even if he trains more, he will increase that, but of course he will also need to train on his, what's it called? Well, not train, mostly let his body grow. He's only 12 fucking years old, and he needs to hurry up for those 6 years to be over. But of course, he's only 12. But yeah. Of course, in those 2 weeks, Naruto did also train some of the Genin squad, and also has heard about Shinkai's, well, information from the Genins. Naruto nod, and Naruto says, in 1 more week, since you know there's an invasion happening in Konoha, I want, well, to invade it also. This is where Shinkai says, are you sure about it? Well, not to invade it mostly, but capture some resources that we might need. And what is that? Do you know the trees that are all around it? I want to burn it down, so it will take them quite a while to bring any, like, houses back. But maybe the goods that are underneath the village will be good enough. Also, maybe take its money also. I hate that village, and it's a curse of Kaige. This is where Shinkai says, I see. Then I will also hate the Kaige. This is where Naruto nodded. Now, this is where I'm actually going to leave it off for part 3 of What If Naruto Freed an Ancient Being. Now, I don't really know how many parts I'm going to make for this, but I'm hoping only like 6 parts or maybe more. I don't know. But other than that, I have things to do and yeah. But other than that, have a nice potato day, potato, bye bye, potato, and yeah, bye.